Hello everyone, welcome to my tapping channel. Today we're going to be talking about the 6 common things that are characteristics of low self-esteem. But before we dive into that, I am Sandra, author of Tapping into Abundance using EFT tapping and the law of attraction to change your mindset and turn your life around. And if you want to do just that, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you don't miss any videos. If you want to book a one-on-one consultation with me to really deal with your self-esteem issues once and for all, there's a link in the description field below this video for how you can book a free clarity session with me. The clarity session is to give you clarity about where you're really at and what's contributing to the self-esteem issues. And then we can have a chat later at the end of that if there's any need to do further any coaching onto that, or if you want to do any work with me. You can also get your hands on a free video that I have called How to Heal Your Shadow Through Balancing Your Energy Centers. This is to explain what shadow work is and what the chakra system is, and how that beliefs at each chakra level, limiting beliefs, can affect your overall experience of life in a very negative way, and can also affect what you do and what you don't do. It's essentially contribute to low self-esteem. And when you're addressing these limiting beliefs at each chakra level, you're able to increase your self-esteem. So that's a free video, link in the description field below this video. So finally, we can get on to these 6 characteristics of low self-esteem. Number 1 is fear of failure. Now, I know that most people, even with average, like healthy self-esteem, don't want to fail. But the fear of failure doesn't stop them from acting. It doesn't stop them from doing. If you have low self-esteem, the fear of failure can be so strong that it actually stops you from trying anything or doing anything that you really want to do or that you'd like to try and do. And if it does, if you do go ahead and do it, it can be so strong that it can actually sabotage your success at doing what it is that you're wanting to do. Whereas if you have average self-esteem or higher self-esteem, you may still fear the failure, but it's not going to stop you from moving forward and doing it, and it's not going to cripple you in any way from being able to still do what you're wanting to do. But having low self-esteem will create more fear in that area, because believe it or not, having low self-esteem is a very ego thing. It's where you've got to be the best. Deep down inside, you believe you've got to be the best in order to be good enough. And if you've got to be the best all the time in order to be good enough, that's putting a huge, 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 huge burden on you, because you're not always going to be the best. You might be one of the best, but you're not always going to be the best. And if you've got healthy self-esteem, then you're not going to expect to be the best at everything. You know, you'll be the best at some things, but you're not necessarily going to be the best of the best. You could just be one of the best, and that's good enough. Number 2 is comparisonitis. So this is where you're comparing yourself to other people all of the time. It sort of relates to the first one in that you've got to be the best. And so when you're comparing to yourself to somebody else, and they're better, you think in any way that they're better than you, whether they are or not, you're probably going to act in some way that's going to either sabotage your results, or you won't even try, or you'll feel down on yourself because you're not better than that person, or at least equal to that person. But deep down inside, the low self-esteem actually kind of makes you want to be better than. And if you're really honest with it, it's almost like you have to be better than the other person in order to be good enough. Okay, it's a belief in not being good enough unless you're better than. And a lot of this comes from our upbringing. We live in a very competitive society, and sometimes people are really given, if they're winning, the winners are always given praise. It's always about the winners, the winners, the winners. And so everybody wants to be the winner, and not everybody can be. And that doesn't mean that you're not good, but it just means that you didn't win that time. But we have this obsession with winning, and that can create a lot of problems in childhood if it's always about winning all the time. So if you're comparing yourself to others and you always feel less than they are, or you feel the need to be better than others, like you like it when people tell you you're better than somebody else at something, and it really makes you feel good, but at the same time there's a little bit of guilt there too at the same time, then there's probably a self-esteem issue. If you've got healthy self-esteem and somebody tells you you're really good at something, you'll probably know it. You'll probably think, yeah, I'm pretty good at that. But it's not going to be like I have to be the best at it, or I have to be better than that person. It would just be an acknowledgement of what you're capable of doing. The third one is perfectionism. You have to be perfect in order to be good enough. You have to be perfect in order to be the best. So having to be perfect all the time, it's not actually even possible. There is no perfection. Perfection doesn't even exist in the real sense of perfection. It doesn't exist. So stop chasing it. It's about doing what you do well and doing what you feel is your best effort. It doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, some things, I guess safety things, if you're somebody who makes safety devices, then yes, they have to be pretty perfect. But when it comes to you as a person and doing a lot of things, you don't have to be perfect. Number 4 is you're really reacting to a lot of past rejection and past criticism. So those rejections, those criticisms from the past keep sort of repeating themselves. You keep dwelling on the past. You dwell on when you were rejected that time in high school, or you're dwelling on the criticism that you may have received from a teacher in school, and it's kind of always going back to those times. And there's a little part of yourself that actually takes on that critic and takes on what those critics had said to you back in the past. It actually takes that on, and you keep saying it to yourself, and that keeps your self-esteem low. It keeps you in line, I guess. It keeps you feeling that you're not good enough. So if there is any criticisms or rejection from the past, it's really important to heal that and to work on that through coaching or through the shadow work. And another one, it's not the last one because I said 6, is feeling, number 5, so feeling like you're a fraud or having imposter syndrome. So this is where you're not feeling, if you're doing something you want to do, but you feel you're not really good enough to do it. And so you go ahead and do it, but you feel like a fraud, you feel like an imposter. This happens a lot for people when they want to create a side hustle or a career out of something that they love and something that is very important to them. If you've got low self-esteem, you're going to feel like you're just not good enough to really call yourself that thing. You're not good enough to really be able to make money from that thing. So you feel like, you're a fraud, you're an imposter, you're pretending to be something that you're not. But again, this is low self-esteem where you're saying, I'm not good enough, or I'm not perfect, or I'm not as good as so-and-so, so therefore I'm a fraud, I'm an imposter. And you will go ahead, of course, and sabotage yourself if you keep with that belief. And it is a belief that you have to work through. Number 6 is to do with value. So if you've got low self-esteem, you're not going to feel that what you do is valuable enough, or even who you are is valuable enough. You're not going to feel your value. So if it comes, again, to creating a side hustle or a career, doing something you enjoy, something you love, you're not going to value yourself or what it is enough to be able to make a sustainable living doing it, because you may not charge enough for it. And this is a big one with low self-esteem. A lot of people with low self-esteem will go, oh, I'll just do it. I just want to do it for the experience. Oh, I don't need any money payment for that. I just want to do it, because, I shouldn't want to have payment for something I enjoy doing. All these sorts of things can be connected to low self-esteem. I mean, you may very well not need the money, and so you do enjoy just doing things that you're good at, and helping out with something and not getting paid. But if you've got low self-esteem, you may find yourself doing that a lot. And it's not really comfortable when you do it either. It's like you're doing it because you feel you should do it rather than because you really want to do it. So if you've got normal self-esteem or higher self-esteem, you may volunteer your services and your expertise for nothing because you've got stuff happening elsewhere that's bringing you what it is that you need, and this is just something you enjoy doing, and it's quite okay. You're not losing anything by giving it. But if you're wanting to make your side hustle or your hobby or something part of your career and fill your life more of it, then it's going to be very difficult for you to say, yeah, well, this is how much I charge for it. If you have low self-esteem, because you're not valuing, again, you're coming back to I'm not good enough, a little bit of the imposter syndrome, or I'm not perfect enough, or you're comparing yourself to the other person, your competition, or you're afraid of failing, all of those things to stop you from actually being able to make a living doing what it is that you want to do, if that's what you want to do. So they're the 6 common aspects, I guess, or ways that low self-esteem can manifest in your life. It can also affect your relationships with people too. You can sabotage your relationships because of low self-esteem. You essentially don't believe you're lovable enough or worthy enough to have a good relationship. So you may find you attracted to people that are not good for you. Or that if you do end up in a relationship with somebody who is good for you, you might lose the attraction very fast. Or you may sabotage the relationship because it's not confirming to you that you're not good enough or you're not lovable enough. It happens all the time. So that's why it's important to do what I call shadow work, which is that inquiry into those parts of yourself that you're not aware of, that you need to be aware of, and to do some work around that. So if you do want to do that work with me, again, the link in the description field below this video for how you can book a free clarity session with me over Zoom. And if you're wanting to do more of a do-it-yourself approach and you want to work with the chakras as well as the shadow work, I have a course called The Wheels of Empowerment, and it's about a 4-month course where you start with the root chakra. You start working through all of those beliefs around having the right to be here and the physical aspects of yourself and the world, and then moving up to the chakras, all the way up to your spiritual beliefs and how even they can be distorted enough to stop you from really being who you are and doing what you came here to do. So there's a link in the description field below this video for how you can find out more information about the Wheels of Empowerment course. If you like the video, hit the like button, share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe. I am Sandra, and I will see you on the next video.